Radio 4, it's 7:20 and time for this week's soundtrack. Just before Christmas, a group of Norfolk schoolchildren started out on an unusual adventure. They faced a weekend of wartime Britain as the Blitz kids.
So what do you think you're going to miss most, Ron?
I don't know yet, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know what it's going to be like.
Do you think it's going to be really like the 40s?
It's all a big secret. After I get into the bus, I don't know what's going to happen.
So what have you got in your suitcase then?
I've got the apron.
Yeah.
And a spare pair of knickers.
Yeah.
I've got my plimsolls.
And your bear, of course.
Oh yeah, he's sitting on top of the suitcase.
Come on, I really think we should think of a name for him. What about... What's a 40s name? I don't know.
Edward.
Well, it could be Edward.
Edward the Tedward.
What about calling him Churchill?
Yes. I'll have to give him a cigar.
Maybe Colonel Carrick will lend you one.
I doubt it.
No, I doubt
My name is George Carrick. I'm warden of Holt Hall, Residential and Field Study Centre. We offer a range of courses throughout the year for school parties, and this particular course is a speciality in that it's been set up so that the children can find out to a certain extent what it was like to live in a particular time period. It's late 1940, the autumn of 1940, the Blitz is in progress. Now the children who participate will invent a character for themselves based on genuine registers of children who were evacuated from London. And they will come to Holt Hall for 2 days so that we can actually arrange for them to be billeted out. That's the basic scenario.
Okay, are you set?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, suitcase, bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, shall I take your
Yeah, you can take that.
Take a last look round, Rowan. You may not see this again for a long time. Yeah.
Hope you don't have to sing Run, Rabbit, Run on the coach. Rabbit, run, 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 run. Mine's 36 Dickens Road. Mine's 94 Dickens Road, Gravesend, Kent. What's yours? 5 Hollywood Road, Gravesend, Kent.
The children, for their own part, will be role-playing, and they know that. They've actually had to make a lot of things for themselves, like their ration book, their ID cards, their gas mask, and they've been asked to do a great deal of research and to find out what it was like. What they don't know is what's going to happen to them when they come here.
Can you all listen? Can you take your suitcases and we'll put those in the reading area, because as I told you, an army lorry will be picking up the cases because the coach is so small. So can you bring all your suitcases? You can take your teddies on the coach with you if you want, and ration books, but we'll just take everything.
Matthew suddenly said last night, but we need white sheets. I said, thank you for telling me the day before you go. I have got no white sheets. So he's got
white or dull colour.
He's got purple, because that's all I've got.
Bye!
Be good!
Party of evacuees from Gravesend for you.
Yes, we're expecting them. Yes.
We had 1 or 2 problems en route, I understand. I phoned my office and they tell me that the railways are suffering this morning.
There is a problem, we think. We're not quite sure what the situation is, but at the moment we're keeping our fingers crossed.
Right.
Just can you wait there, please?
Can I have your attention, if you please? Now, first of all, my name is Barrington Brown. I'm from the Ministry, and I'm here to see that you're settled in all right. But the trouble is, at the moment, although the train is here, we haven't got an engine. The engine has had to go back again because there is 1.25 million children to be taken out of London. Now, the problem is there were reports last night of bombing incidents, and we rather suspect that the line between here and Holt has been damaged. And if we can't arrange some other transport for you, then I'm afraid we're all going to have to walk. And that's about 3 miles. Anyway, we would do what we can.
The point of that exercise is to create, right at the beginning, some of the atmosphere of what it would be like to be in the war, with lines being bombed and with general havoc. And this is the first incident that is unpredictable.
In connection with this incident, A German Heinkel 111 was seen last night very low over Holt in flames. And we know that that aircraft has crashed somewhere. Now, the problem is we haven't found the crew yet, and they will undoubtedly be armed. Now, if you see any sign of those people, then under no circumstances must you go near them. Now, do you understand that completely? Yes. Is there anybody who doesn't?
Yeah, a German pilot, a German gunner, and if the gunner hadn't been using very much of his ammunition, he'd have most certainly taken out the gun. He'd have salvaged the gun. But the gun can go through a wall at a quarter of a mile. It wouldn't be too hard. It's probable all they use was bombs, which makes... They do use guns though, Miles, to keep off the enemy fighters. So if
Normally, we're both advisory teachers working for the Norfolk Advisory Service.
Today we're enroll as billeting officers here at the station. When the children arrive, it's our responsibility to settle them down.
The story is that there's been some bombers on the line. We send a message back after the coach, but telling the children they may have to walk. And then the coach comes back and they're taken on the coach for the last part of the journey to the hall.
They're beginning, I think, at this stage to realise that even though they do all know that it's all a big game and it's not real, they're beginning to realise how real it's going to seem. And you're beginning to see in their eyes a certain amount of, am I slightly out of my depth here, you know? And
Slight disorientation.
yes, nobody really wants to upset the children, but if it's going to be a real experience, we've got to try and get something like the right ambience for them.
I think especially when they arrive at Holt Hall and they're greeted by the military and the colonel is terribly, terribly brusque with them, and the children gradually change, so you can actually almost see them becoming more cowed, and one or two have a bit of wobbly around the lips.
I think the saving grace is their teachers, whom they do know, and although they're wearing funny clothes, but for many of them it becomes very real, actually.
Morning, Captain. Good morning, sir. I think we have 40 children for evacuation to Holt Hall. Well, you're already running late, Captain. We've been standing around here for ages waiting for you.
I'm very sorry, sir.
Don't stand around, man. Get them off the bus, get them organised. Let's have them.
Off. Come on, move off, move it.
They drop into role really quite quickly, and it's interesting how, dressed for the part and acting the part, they actually play as though children in 1940 would. The point is, though, that they are aware of the fact that they are playing.
Right, good morning, children. Welcome to Holt Hall. You have come here today from your schools in London so that we can arrange for you to be billeted out with families staying in the local community. I will introduce to you some of the staff. My wife pops in and out from time to time. You will give her the respect she deserves from her position. You understand so far?
They receive a quick but strict and detailed talk about what's expected of them. But in order to keep the atmosphere going, they are then given a head inspection before they come into the hall. It is the knit-nurse inspection, and we have two people there carrying out the exercise.
Turn your head over to the side. That's a good girl. No. No, all clear. Well done. Off you go.
Nice and clean, good girl.
Another one. This way. That's right. Head over.
Nice and tidy. Lovely.
Good. Lovely ribbons.
Nice tied back in front of you.
That's fine. Off you go up to the dormitory. This way, please. This way. This way.
Right. You're in Martham Dormitory, aren't you? If you go up the stairs, and can you see that plastic thing there? If you just go up the stairs, Martham is at the end. You pass your loos on the way.
It's really strict, aren't they? Got to be strict to be in the army. I'm going to take off my gas. No, I can't, can I? Oh dear.
You walk! Walk, don't run! Come down in an orderly manner. I do not...
Those boys, standing around there, get in line, quickly!
Come along!
Move yourselves! Right, very good response. Everybody got a gas mask? What I do not want to see is anybody in an emergency running. I shall be extremely unhappy. And believe me, I can get much more unhappy.
That did not give me a shock. Because we were just in the middle of washing our hands and the bell quickly went. And I didn't know what to put and the gas mask on away. And I didn't really know anything. And we turned around and they go, is that the bell or what? We're just running around and everything. Luckily we took our gas mask off.
You got your ration card?
Yep.
And your ID card?
Yep.
Right, you can get your queue then.
Let me see them then. Come on, if you haven't got them, go get them.
Right. Good boy. Good boy.
Clotilde? Clotilde? Ist das du? Ja, wie geht's? Gut. So hört mich mir. Ich denke, dass wir hier einen Speer haben.
Now, during the first lunchtime,
Ja, einen Speer.
a small group of children will be
Hast du
witness
bereit
to the sound of a
gefunden?
Morse code message,
Ja?
which will
Ja,
be
gut.
heard.
Frag Pierre. Ah, ich muss gehen. Jemand kommt. Gut, Clotilde. Freitag, ja. Wiedersehen.
I think they got it, didn't they?
Yeah, because it went quiet down there.
Yes. So right down the back stairs, is it?
Down the back stairs now. Yeah, quick retreat down the back stairs.
I came up the stairs to look for my friend, and Mrs. Carrot standing there, and she was saying some funny words. It definitely was foreign. I don't know if it was German, but it wasn't English. I think she is German. She's a German spy. You mustn't say. You mustn't accuse someone if you get wrong or you get shot. Oh. Oh, well, I won't say anything else then. Yeah, we're not going to be. No, will I? Mummy and Alice, I miss you a lot, but I have had a safe journey here. Today for lunch, I had a fresh apple. There has been talk about a German plane around, but I'm sure it is nothing to worry about. Please write soon. When this horrid war is over, I'll come home and so will Daddy. Lots of love, Rowan.
Right, the aim of the game is that you're going to draw a beetle. And a beetle looks like the picture on the sheet of paper. The first one to draw the whole creature has to yell out, "Beetle!" as loud as you can. So can you get on the floor in groups of 4? Children.
Don't panic. Don't panic. Just stand up, make sure you have your gas masks.
It's mine.
Don't put them on, don't put them on. It's not a gas attack.
It's not
the
a
normal
gas warning.
I think we've got to get the children to the cellar as quickly as possible.
Very good, sir. Orderly fashion now. Just in orderly fashion. There is no need to panic.
Smile going. Come on, big smile. That's the way. Keep it up. Well done.
Listen. See what we can hear is happening outside.
We managed to get in.
Yes, that one was a bit nearer though.
Yes.
It's not intended to be frightening as such, but we give them the experience of an air raid on the first evening, which is very realistic. There have been children that have cried in air raids. Now, what you have to do is then talk to the teachers and say, look, is this child really being affected? And if so, ought we to stop for this particular child? And the children are comforted by their own teachers, but they're comforted within the context of what's happening.
Well, I don't know whether we want to sit and listen to this all night. Can't we have a bit of a sing, can't we?
Indeed,
Yes, let's have a bit of a sing. Do you know any songs, children? Run, rabbit, run. Who said that one? Right, who's going to, are you going to lead us then, young lady?
Come along, come along. Oh my God!
Oh, hold on, I've got a torch. Hang on.
Don't worry, that was just a bolt lightning a bit near to us. It's below the electricity main. Don't worry, we'll hopefully go on to generator power in a minute. Come on, look, let's
Come on, let's
run,
sing
rabbit.
line. Here we
Run,
go.
rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit.
All clear. Oh, that's wonderful.
No, they won't be back tonight.
No.
Let's give 3 cheers for the gallant boys of the Royal Air Force and the boys of the anti-aircraft batteries that seemed the Nazi made us off. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Oh, that's spiffy. Well done. I think we can take these people back up to the
One of them was a bit upset. She's been missing her mum, worried about her family back in Gravesend. And the other one has lost the head from her teddy bear, and unfortunately that upset her more than the bombs.
When I was walking out the door and I suddenly saw something falling on the ground, it was my teddy's head. Wow, it's an old teddy. It was made round about here, and about this time. I don't like it when the power cut off because I'm actually frightened of the dark. It did come as a bit of a surprise, doesn't it? Because 1 minute it's there, 1 minute you're singing away to your heart content and it just disappears. And when the drum bops, your heart sort of goes, yes. I thought it was a direct hit. I want to go home. I don't like it here. You didn't like it in the air raid shelter either. I didn't want to come in the first place. No, I didn't want to come. My mum said it would be good. And I didn't sleep. I didn't get to sleep until 4 o'clock in the morning.
This is the BBC Home Service. Good evening. Here is the 9 o'clock news, and this is Alvar Liddell reading it. Buckingham Palace has been bombed. A time bomb dropped into the terrace on the north wing, just outside the King's sitting room. The King and Queen were away for the night. The time bomb...
The 9 o'clock news is very significant. I mean, everybody in those days listened to the 9 o'clock news, and we all sit around the fire and we turn the radio on, and we've got it linked up to a tape machine, and that's the final event of the day.
And in some cases, empty parachutes were seen falling. The liner Scythia, 19,000 pounds.
Good morning, young man. Did you sleep well? Ready to meet another day? Right. The children have just brought this piece of paper to me. I'm not really sure what it is. I don't think it's a trick little book.
It's like Morse code.
I don't honestly believe anybody is going to be sending codes around here. But I'll tell you what, I'll give you this piece of paper back, and if you think you can establish some sort of... A piece of paper will be found with a coded message that could be cracked by someone of the age of about 9 or 10.
Work this out. No, yeah, come on. D is C. Contact local. B is to all local. To all air crew. Contact local. F is in. What's that? To all airmen and crew, contact local agent. Yeah, Mrs. Carrick. Right, I'm going to go. Yeah, she's probably working for the Germans.
You probably could say that most mushrooms are edible, and you could probably say that most toadstools are poisonous. Yes, that's an old one just there. Oh, no, it's not. I beg your pardon, that's a different one. That's so well camouflaged, I didn't spot it there, but well done for yourself. That one there, that red one, is a real poisonous one. Be careful. Never.
The children are going on an estate walk, and at the same time, the estate manager is going to introduce them to some of the wildlife of the countryside. So he asks a small group of children to take a particular path back to the hall to ask me if I would send down his binoculars. On the way, they come across a parachute hanging from a tree.
Look, parachute. We better go and tell that to the colonel if we see him. We're supposed to go back. Let's tell the colonel. He's in charge. Okay.
Come on, calm down. Now, what have you got to tell me?
I saw a white parachute.
And who else saw this white parachute?
William, and he's just coming now.
Well, why were you out walking about on your own?
We were sent back to get Ranger's binoculars.
Well, I think we ought to go down and see Mr. Parker first of all, and I think we better lead the way that you told me that you came. When I get to the point where the parachute was allegedly seen, there is, of course, no parachute. It has vanished. And at that point, I really do have to remonstrate with these children for the stories that they are making up.
There was, I promise you, it was there. Somebody must have taken it.
Look here, Parker, I don't know what you've been doing with these children, but I've got two children here that maintain there's a parachute hanging from this tree. Now, unless my eyes are deceiving me, I failed to see a parachute. Does anybody else here see a parachute?
No. Mr. Parker must have taken it. Somebody's taken it. It was definitely there. Miles, how long was Mr. Parker away? I don't know, about a minute, I suppose. No, it couldn't have been him then. He wouldn't have had time to take a parachute down. I think he isn't just thinking. I couldn't have imagined it. I don't blame the Colonel for not believing it. I probably wouldn't if I hadn't have seen it. Did you seriously? I promise I saw it.
Oh, Martin, you've come to our airman?
Yes.
Excellent. Just the man. One genuine Luftwaffe flying suit. I don't know whether you'll get into it. I'll walk you down to the area so you know where you've got to hide. Right. Give up sort of fairly quickly without us having to rush about through the trees after you.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to be caught by children. The briefing is that... Children, let's have a lot of shouting. Come on, Kerry, come up, hands up. Up! Come on, children.
They got something.
Have a look over there, boys. Quickly, go over there. Quick, over here! Stand still!
Keep here.
Quickly, children, to me! Don't do that again, Fritz.
Right, listen. We'll go in. We will not go through that door until you are told.
Sit tight.
So, you don't have a lot to say for yourself, do you?
This was rather a poor effort, wasn't it, really? Trying to deceive children. See how pathetic you are. Germany is defeated. You've got nothing more to do in this war. You won't have to work because you're an officer. It must make you feel pretty proud to be part of the master race now, doesn't it? To see that the such as you are caught by children, to see the such of you that bomb cities, bombing religious buildings like cathedrals, and women, and babies that are in their beds, following a man who has a gross overgrowth of nostril hair and a rather stupid greasy hairstyle, whose real name is Adolf Schicklgruber.
Right, Captain, we're not here to insult this man. This man is an officer. We'll let the squadron leader have a go.
Do you have a cigarette?
Nein, danke.
Well, as you wish. So, jolly hard luck being shot down, wasn't it? I was up last night and it was a rough old night. Your aeroplane's going jolly fast, I must say. We could hardly catch you up. It must be a good 360 miles an hour, I should think. Yes.
375.
375, that's pretty good, yes. Oh well, here we are. Sorry you had to get shot.
He is then arrested and taken away, and the children are then put through the process of the discussion what should happen to captured enemy. Very often they start with the idea that he should be shot, and then we pose the question, if we do that with their airmen, what will they do to ours? And so there is a whole moral question here, if you like, that the children have got to come to a conclusion about.
That was a very interesting half an hour, was it not? I think so. Who do you think came out of it best? The German airman or the captain and the colonel? Is that the captain and the colonel, do you?
I said German airman.
He wasn't frightened, was he? In spite of the bullying that the captain did, about the German Air Force dropping bombs on women and children and hospitals and cathedrals and castles. Now, we've dropped bombs on Germany, haven't we? Now, do you think our bombs have missed completely women and children and hospitals? Yes, we're killing each other. We're killing each other. Now, are we justified? That is the point.
Swing! Promenade round! And step to your partners!
Incident happens where they're actually all involved in country dancing, and that's interrupted by the arrival of people who are offering prospective billeting places. But it did become a moment for them where they had to sort of face up to the fact, well, what would it really be like to go and stay with strangers? And they know that this, of course, is what they're here for. Ultimately, that's what the evacuees did.
Mr. Lansfield is a farmer, fairly close to home. Mr. Lansfield?
Yes, I've got a 6-acre farm at Stanner, and I've got 3 horses. There's Jim, he's a big old hoss, he's about 17 hands, and I need somebody who's willing to help look after Jim and Solly and Tuppence. I've also got quite a lot of chickens running about, and I need somebody to help me go around the hedgerows to find where they've laid their eggs, because they're so precious. They're now 6p a dozen. So I'm really looking for a couple of nippy, handy boys, and maybe a girl to help the wife in the kitchen.
Mr. Charles, I think we really must point out to Mr. Lansfield here that what he's not getting is labour to compensate for the people who have gone off to the war. These children need to be looked after and cherished and nourished. They're away from their families and need some proper support.
I'm sure Mr. Lansfield realises that.
I think they had difficulty in working out how far we were going to take it. Some of them probably really did think that we would take it that far and that they would actually have to go off with someone. And I think there was a certain amount of actually not wanting to go through that experience. On the other hand, a lot of children were quite happy.
Baby piglet from his boss.
Oh, so you know all about pigs. You'd be just the person I need,
Read a
I
couple
think.
of pig farming books as well.
Have you? Oh, that'll do it a treat.
How old are you?
9.
Now, in my house, I've got some rather large rooms with 2 beds in each. So would you have one room with 2 beds in? Yes, but I must impress on you that you'll have to be well
Have you got any
behaved.
animals?
No, I haven't got any animals, but I have got a large garden, so you could go out and play.
I'm so sorry, girls. I've got 4 boys who are coming with me already. Have you got anywhere to go? Don't worry, you'll have somewhere to go. You're not worrying, are you?
Very kindly come along to play the piano for us. So we'll start off with Run Rally.
Total casualties during last night's air raids on London are in the neighbourhood of 400 killed and 1,400 injured. The majority of the casualties occurring when an elementary school in the East End of London, which was offering temporary shelter to families whose homes had been destroyed, was hit and collapsed. The dropping of parachutes by enemy aircraft during the night of November the 4th was no more than
Good morning, sir. Morning, Captain. Carry on. Sit down, children. As you were. Right, children, you will see that I have asked all of you here because I feel there are 1 or 2 very important items that have to be cleared up that are as yet unexplained. And I feel that we need to come to a satisfactory conclusion, particularly as you children are going to be taken off to the village hall, and since many of you have in fact been accumulating the evidence.
Excuse me, my dear. I'm so very sorry to jump in like this, but I have something very important to tell you all. Children, I'm sorry. I have had to tell you one or two little white lies, and that's for a very good reason. I know you think I've done some suspicious things, but I am on your side. I'm working for the British government, and I can't tell you any more than that. Now, some of you I know heard me doing a radio broadcast earlier in the week, didn't you? I'm afraid I wasn't very clever about keeping my voice down. The lady I was contacting was this lady, Clotilde.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Perhaps I'll let Clotilde carry on with the story and tell them what happened.
Yes, I can assure you, Madame Kareki, she is not a spy. She has contacted me and she has told me what is happening here and that she wants proof to be able to back up what she thinks is happening.
Very often at the beginning, they're inclined to think that because my wife speaks German, that it is her that is the spy. It doesn't actually dawn on them that it's highly unlikely that a German spy would openly speak German in public.
To expose the man who in fact is the real spy. I am going to expose because I have taken this.
You have a photograph, madam?
Yes, it was taken in...
Bonjour, madame. I am Colonel Cameron.
Oh, monsieur, I am very pleased to meet you.
Good grief. Do you see this, Captain? This is a photograph of one Obergruppenführer Werner Hermsdorf, a very high-up Nazi. Do you see his SS helmet? I wonder, Captain, if you would show this around the children. Children, I want you to look, I want you to be very quiet, and just see if you recognize the person in this photograph. First of all, children, do you recognize the person in this photograph? Could you point to the person in this photograph in this room? Mr. Parker, we have a photograph here. You will not touch the photograph. The photograph is important evidence.
I wish to see that. It's bound to be rigged.
What do you think this photograph tells us, children? Mr. Parker is a German spy. Is this what we think?
This is absolutely ridiculous. You've got no evidence except that, and I maintain that that is rigged.
Mr. Parker, I have here conclusive evidence, as far as I'm concerned, that you are indeed an enemy working for a foreign power. I therefore have to inform you that you are being arrested on suspicion of being a spy, that you will be given a fair trial, and if you are found guilty, you will be hanged by the neck until dead. Would you like to lead him away, Captain?
Sorry, sir. Just had a very important telephone message over the field telephone.
Yes, Captain.
My men on the coast have warned me of invasion ships off the coast of Weybourne. Transport has been arranged so that these children may be removed from this entire area this morning, and they must be evacuated within the hour.
I see. Children, it seems as though I'm afraid you're not going to be able to go and stay with the people who have arranged to take you after all. But if there is already information that there are ships sighted off the coast here, we're going to have to evacuate you as quickly as possible. I suspect you are going to be taken to Norwich, where you will be taken to a holding centre there, and then some
I know this is not very nice, but we have our lads out being very brave. It's up to us to be very brave too. Who's fussing down
Right,
here?
you children, stand still, stand quietly, pay attention. Your spirit here has been superb. Without your help, we would not have reached the happy conclusion we've reached this morning. With that sort of spirit, we will win. I wish you well. I wish you good luck, and keep your chins up. Well done. Goodbye. Carry on.
Right, girls, lead on to the coach.
Bound for the land they adore. There's many a Naaman just finishing his term. There's many a twerp signing on.
The whole event ends on the morning of the third day. They think they must be taken into Norwich. In reality, what happens is they're taken to the Muckleborough collection, which is a military museum near Weybourne, and they are acting as a debrief centre. And in fact, as soon as they drive out the gate here on the last morning, they're told that that's it. The game's over.
No, we'll have silence now. Silence. And I want you all to close your eyes.
Now, just a minute ago, I heard a very strange sound. It was a jet. It wasn't a Wellington. Wasn't a Spitfire. It was a jet from 1991. Open your eyes. What year is it? 1991. So where have we been for 3 days?
Oh.
We've been at Holt Hall how many years ago? Good grief. Now what I want you to do is this. In a minute, you're going to get off the coach and you will go and stand by your teacher. You will hand to your teacher. You must give your...
I now know how much people suffered in the war. You can never really understand unless it's hand to you, really. It's a bit, At the start, it came as a bit of a jump because we were totally used to being sort of like spoilt to the 1940s children. And then when we actually got there, I mean, it was really amazing because we were getting told off all the time. Yeah, my gas mask all broke. I didn't like it when I thought we were going to go to other people's houses to sleep. I almost believed that I was really in 1940 because everybody was so much playing along with it. Some of the time I was just talking about things that were in 1991, but most of the time I was just... Oh no, I'm going to miss neighbours. And sometimes I said to her, let's talk evacuees, I said to Sarah. And she said, what?
Run, rabbit, run.
99% of the children who have been through this have had a very positive experience. It hasn't been something that's frightened them. They've gone away wishing it could have gone on a bit longer.
I'll just keep singing these songs. I just can't stop it. Next week I'll probably keep standing up whenever a head teacher comes into the room at school and then suddenly look around me and sit down very quickly. Mum's going to be saying, what, you got a tidy room for and things like that. I'll be much more polite after it.
In a sense, you're asking them to live through a nightmare, but if they're really enjoying themselves, is it a nightmare or a pleasant dream?
In Blitz Kids, the reporter was Neil Walker and the producer was Sharon Banoff.